The Reckoning probably has one of, if not the worst endings to any Call of Duty Zombies game to date. The entire story of this map feels jumbled, rushed, and it leaves so many questions unanswered. But surprisingly, I actually like this map. And today, I'm breaking down exactly what makes this map so unique. We're talking about the layout and traversal, the new enemies, the Easter egg, the boss fights, which might be some of the best in the game, and yeah, we're definitely going to talk about the disaster that the story is. Let's start with the positives first. I want to talk about the positive things first before we get into the negatives I have with the map. So let's start with the layout. The Reckoning's design is very unique. The only map that compares is Die Rise. It's multi-layered, it's interconnected, and it uses verticality in a way that is actually fun to play. Instead of just running through hallways or looping a single open area, you're constantly moving up and down through massive structures, taking ether elevators and jump pads to get from one spot of the map to a different spot of the map. A little overwhelming at first, I won't lie. My first few matches were a complete mess. I had no idea how to get around at all, and it was very confusing. But once you figure out the flow, moving around becomes one of the most enjoyable parts of the map. The ether elevators feel so smooth and the jump pads are so quick that when you chain it all together, you can cover huge distances in seconds. One of my favorite parts of the map is jumping off a ledge and parachuting down throughout the tower. And for people that say that's like Warzone, it's not. That's a stupid take. That's like saying guns is Warzone. Now let's go to the new enemies. And honestly, Treyarch knocked it out of the park with these enemies. First, the Uberklaus, the new elite. This thing is an absolute tank. Every time it spawns, the game gets immediately more intense. It's got huge health, heavy hitting attack, and actually feels dangerous. Not like some of the other elites that you can melt in seconds. You have to actually be wary of it or it will kill you so fast. Then there's the Commando Klaus, the new special enemy. They work similar to the toxic zombies from Shattered Veil, applying pressure without feeling cheap. They're quick, they can disrupt your movement, and they make holding down certain areas way more chaotic. And I just love the chaos that they bring to this game, and they actually can be a challenge. If you're not paying attention, they can kill you very easily. Next, I want to talk about the Easter egg. The Easter egg was an absolute blast to hunt for. It took the community over 8 hours to figure out, which is the longest Easter egg hunt for Black Ops 6 Zombies. My team almost got first in the world. We were in the boss fight, but we did unfortunately die. It was very tragic. I'm still recovering from it actually, but it was so much fun to do and so much fun to look for. The steps themselves are pretty straightforward once you know them, but solving them blind was insanely tough, and that made the hunt so much fun. The Reckoning does something so cool. I wish more maps have done this before. It gives you two different boss fights, depending on who you side with, Sam or Richtofen. If you side with Richtofen, you fight Samantha. If you side with Sam, you fight Richtofen in a full-on Uberklaus suit, and it is brutal. The Richtofen fight is easily one of the hardest boss encounters in Zombies history. First, you've got to drain an entire health bar while he's in the Uberklaus suit. That's already a boss fight in itself. He's extremely tanky, he's aggressive, and you've got to worry about zombies swarming you all at the same time. But once you finally get that health bar all the way down to zero, he jumps out of the suit with a jetpack and a Wonder Waft and starts dropping bombs from the sky, dealing massive damage. The Wonder Waft nearly one-shots you with Jug and Tier 3 armor. It is so chaotic, it is awesome. I'm a big fan of the Richtofen boss fight. I haven't even beat it yet. It's that hard. I love this boss fight. I love everything about it. Big fan. Then you have the Sam fight, which is definitely the easier one of the two, but it is still super fun. She's constantly on the move, firing lasers and electric orbs across the arena, and on top of that, she forces you into SAM trials mid-fight. You have to do an entire SAM trial, and if you do not complete the SAM trial, your game ends. It is very exciting, and it is very nerve-wracking. She's definitely the easier boss of the two, but she's still a challenge and a very fun boss. Both fights feel unique, both are replayable, and both are easily some of the most fun I've had in Black Ops 6. Now let's move on to the negatives. The Gorg effects is honestly so bad. In theory, the Gorg effect should be one of the coolest features of the map. Treyarch said there were 2 different variants, each with their own unique abilities. That sounds super cool and I was very excited for it. Except in practice, I swear they all do the exact same thing. I've tried all of them. I've tested them in multiple matches and I genuinely cannot tell a difference. If they are different abilities, they're bugged or so minor that you can barely even notice. And in a game that already has some underwhelming wonder weapons, this is a big letdown. It's frustrating because to me, the Gorg effects has one of the best designs out of any wonder weapon we've seen in a very long time, except for when I actually go to use it, I just immediately want to switch back to my other weapon that actually kills. Like I mentioned earlier, I love the new enemies that Treyarch introduced in this map. The Uberklaus to me is by far the best elite enemy in the game, and the Commando Klaus is the second best special enemy in the game. But for some reason, Treyarch decided to still bring back the Doppelgast, the Vermin, and the Parasite. I do not understand why they insist on bringing back the Parasites and Vermin for every single map. And especially with the Doppelgast, I genuinely do not understand why Treyarch decided to bring them back for this map. They do not fit the map at all. They should have stayed in Citadel de Mort only. It is truly baffling why they decide to bring every special enemy back. for different maps. Like, I honestly believe, I'm glad they're not here, but I do honestly believe that Manglers would have been a better fit for this map. They are robotic. They fit the aesthetic better than a Doppelgas. Doppelgas are genuinely there for zero reason. They brought the Manglers back for one step of the Easter egg, which I actually think is a very cool step. The Fowler mutant injection is a very cool and unique step, and I'm glad that they did that, and I hope they do more stuff like that in Black Ops 7. But the fact that they keep on reusing the same enemies over and over again, give it a break, man. For the next game, I don't want no reused enemies, even though I know we're gonna get them. Black Ops 7 is almost definitely gonna have Hellhounds, which will be fresh. It'll be a nice return to form with Hellhounds, but I really hope they're not the Hellhounds from Firebase Z. Firebase Z Hellhounds are genuinely terrible. I hate how they leave the fire on the ground once you kill them. It's awful. It makes no sense. Please remove that, Treyarch. And if they do bring back Hellhounds, I'll be happy, but just don't reuse the same enemies in every single map. It's so tiresome and boring. I am so sick of it. Please, I'm crying out for help here, Treyarch. Please stop reusing the same enemies. Please, please, please. And finally, let's talk about the story, which is an absolute mess. The ending cutscene for this map is one of the worst ending cutscenes we've ever got, in my opinion. 4 words of dialogue are spoken. That is it. We get Richtofen doing a goofy run animation returning to his family, and that's it. Then we fade to black, and we get a pre-rendered cutscene of the Premise crew. That is the entire end cutscene. Now, don't get me wrong, I am actually really excited for Premise to return, and they are different if you look at the models and everything. They're not actually Premise. This cutscene should have been so much better. There is so much left unanswered. It is unbelievable. What about Panos and Blanchard? They're just there? I mean, you have to kill one of them for the main Easter egg, but what about the other one? What about the beings that Panos worshipped? Where are they? What about Ava and the Shadowsmiths? Where are they? None of this is addressed, and it is honestly so sad. This whole game feels like it's just setting up for Black Ops 7 instead of giving Black Ops 6 its own satisfying story. And yeah, the Premise crew is back, which should be a massive moment, but the way they reveal it is so underwhelming. They just walk in, no build up, no explanation, nothing. It looks so lame. And I am very excited for Black Ops 7 and for Premise to return, but the way that they've done this and the way they've let the story down in this game is truly tragic. Like, to me, this end cutscene is genuinely probably bottom 5 all time. It feels like this entire game was just an excuse to bring back Premise in some way that made any kind of sense. And trust me, this barely makes any sense at all. Like 1% of it makes sense, nothing else. It is very illogical, in my opinion. They're just trying to force Premise back, and hey, listen, I'm glad Premise is back. Hopefully they can actually make a good story with it, and they actually can close plot points that they open up, which they have failed to do the past 5 years. But only time will tell, I guess. Black Ops 7 is right around the corner. We will know then. I honestly feel doubtful, I won't lie to you guys, but I do have hope. So yeah, The Reckoning is just a weird map. The traversal, the enemies, the double boss fight system, all fantastic. The story and the Gorg effects, easily the weakest parts of the map. It's very sad because this story has so much potential and it's just not going anywhere. But despite that, this map is still one of my favorites in BO6 somehow. I can overlook the story because the gameplay is just that fun. So if you're in it for gameplay and you want to get a good gameplay experience, then this is your map. If you're in it for just story, this map is not good. So yeah, that's why The Reckoning is a mess. If you like this breakdown, I highly recommend checking out my video on how Shattered Veil completely changed Black Ops 6 Zombies. If you want to see that, you can click on this video right here. Thank you all for watching.